Right. Hello and welcome to Look Who's Talking, episode 16?
Is it?
We'll go with that.
Wow.
It might not be 16, but it's around that number probably. I am always... no? Yes, I'm here. And I'm Harry.
Yes.
And Luke is gone.
Again.
Just wait for the applause to stop.
Oh.
And, Luke is gone. Not to the other side or anything. He's sort of...
Been lured.
Yeah, lured. So I am joined today by Tim.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well indeed. How are you?
Very well.
Nice day?
It's happened. It's been nice for the past sort of 2 hours. We've just recorded Reading Club. And
yes.
we've just been singing some 4-part parlour music.
Well,
which might...
in 2 parts, which sounded like sea shanties, but who knows?
Well, see what happens. It'll be fine. So, we're going to be talking about a couple of things today.
You didn't ask me what I was doing today.
What have you been doing today?
I've been making fortune cookies.
Have you?
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
See, was that sort of, you knew that I was going to say that?
Oh, I hoped you were going to ask, so I could just say, I've been making fortune cookies.
Were there any messages that sort of spoke to you?
The best things in life are simple.
Wow.
And there was one other one, but I couldn't remember it. So there we are. Besides, they were going past my eyes at a rate of like, I don't know, 100 a minute. God knows. Yes. Anyway, sorry.
Well, there we go. So, what are we here to talk about today? This fine day.
We're here to talk about Victorian parlour music, believe it or not.
We've chosen the subject for this week to be a little bit more in depth than our usual Look Who's Talking.
What do we normally do? What do you normally do?
We just pick a variety of topics.
What, like Pingu or something?
Yeah, what do you think of the sky? Have you got any thoughts on wardrobes or, that sort of thing?
Okay.
We should say hello as well to all of our patrons who are watching this episode over on Patreon.
Hello, patrons.
So, if you'd like to watch the unedited video...
Don't watch the unedited video.
Yeah, you can sign up at www.patreon.com/WCCY or visit wccy.co.uk for more information. It's £1 a month. Come on.
Is it?
It's £1 a month. Well, that's all you get. Well,
can you ask for your money back?
You'd have to speak to somebody.
Someone. Yeah.
So we're going to take a trip back about 150 years, probably 160 years, isn't it now? Actually, I don't know.
1901, I think, is when Victoria died.
Yes,
and was she somewhere? Is she 60 glorious years? So she must have been 1841 or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I think. I don't know. I haven't looked it up.
Yeah, well.
But we're not here to look things up. We're
not here to do our research. We're here to just speak.
We're just here to look things up yourself.
Yeah, you've got an iPad. You listen to this on something. Don't take our word for it. We're just the conduit. You need to do the work. We're going to be talking about parlour songs.
Yep.
Music hall.
If we got the time.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Ye olde songy.
Yes. Yeah.
So. There we go.
Have
a Google about it and let us know what you think.
So, parlour songs.
Yes.
Should we define what a parlour is, first of all?
Well, a parlour, I'd imagine some of our listeners have got a bit of money and they're likely to have a parlour.
People have parlours. I suppose if they can afford to send you money every month, they must have a parlour.
They're a posh bunch. Probably
got a drawing room as well.
Of course, with a bureau in the corner.
With a bureau in the corner.
Yes.
So, a parlour room is, because I looked this one up, but I guessed, first of all, comes from the French.
Parlour.
Parler, means to talk. And it was a room where you went to talk.
Well, parlour songs are sometimes known as drawing room ballads. I have
looked this up as well. And I think a drawing room, which originally was titled the withdrawing room, was somewhere where you withdrew to after dinner.
Let us all go through to the drawing room.
Not all. Just the blokes. Only the men went through to the withdrawing room so they could smoke cigars and drink brandy and talk about politics.
The business of the day.
I think the women probably didn't go there. So that's a withdrawing room or a drawing room. A parlour room was somewhere where just during the day, maybe evenings, you went, and that's what you did. You spoke or talked or entertained.
Polish your lute.
Polish your lute, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. John Dowland on the wax cylinder.
Oh, good old John Dowland. The blossoming of the English lutenist.
Do you know what I will say? John Dowland supposedly was a virtuoso of his time. And not that I'm an expert on sort of grading lute playing.
This is going to get you into trouble.
I think he's great.
Well, that's all right then.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's good.
I spent about a few weeks ago,
yeah,
just constantly listening to John Dowland.
It was done in tab as well. You can get tab
I've seen
lute.
tab lute books.
Yes.
I did look at buying a lute.
Yeah.
And then I saw the price and decided
you didn't
it
have enough
wasn't
lute.
for me. Yes. I didn't have much lute for a
lute.
lute.
Yeah, they are. It is nice music. You've got to get your head around it, first of all. But apparently there was tab for lutes, and you can get music for lutes as well. It's quite... it's nice stuff once you get into it.
I'm all into that medieval... oldie.
Richie Blackmore.
Yeah, well, perhaps I'll buy a castle and marry a younger lady.
Just wander around in the garden with your lute.
And be a bit strange. I might wear my hat at a jaunty angle.
Should we talk about Parlour Songs?
So Parlour Songs.
Yeah.
What is / are they?
A parlour song was something that was obviously sung in a parlour.
There you go.
They were usually songs of love or regret or bittersweet memories or death or social songs like drinking.
Yes.
Or just general socially bad behaviour. And I think it's a sort of a, Charles Dickens.
Not personally.
Not personally. No, he's gone and he's
the
a bit,
Butcher was a big fan.
He's a bit dead, isn't he?
Said he was a lovely bloke.
Yeah, but a lot of his books, a lot of his novels, included a social element, which reminded us all how lucky we were and how terrible life was for the people we pretended to care about. And I think Parlour Songs sort of do the same job. They sing about people who are like father's a drunkard and mother is dead. Now, the people in the parlour wouldn't have had a drunk father and a dead mother because they led lives that were separate. But I think these songs were designed to remind them of that.
Well, there's a lot of parallels with that and music hall, I'd say.
Do you think so?
We'll get on to music hall. Please, sir.
See,
because I'd say music hall is mostly sort of known for being sort of comical songs.
And a bit raunchy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of those early music hall songs are very sort of... It's probably the blurring point of where Parlour becomes the sort of performed rather than
just sung.
Yeah.
To a select bunch of people. Yeah, but there are certain songs that you could never sing in polite company.
Why don't you give us an example?
Well, I'm thinking of songs like "Oh, What a Beauty." I've never seen one as big as that before. You wouldn't have that in a Victorian parlour room. Have you seen the Armstrong and Miller sketch?
Yes.
Where he's in that Regency drawing room and he's playing gay bar and stuff like that. And the women are swooning all around him. Well, it would probably have sort of the same effect if you sang... Give me a rude musical song.
Daddy Wouldn't Buy Me a Bow Wow.
Is that rude? It's not.
Yes.
I've got a little... Miss P has an even ruder version of that. I can't even say it because it's got rude words all the way through it, but it's very, very funny.
Supposedly,
yes?
from what
Daddy Wouldn't Buy Me a Bow Wow.
What my research has told me.
Seriously?
I think... do you know what? I might have even written this down in preparation. Let's have a little
It's
look.
a rude song.
Daddy Wouldn't Buy Me a Bow Wow.
Don't want to hear this.
The performer in question who would have sung this song was holding a cat.
Right. Oh, dear.
And supposedly, the bow wow is a sort of...
I don't want to know.
A Victorian term for an upper-class gentleman who would prey upon the youth.
Seriously?
Yes.
All these songs are about perverts.
And that's why we're here today. Apparently it's sort of... Daddy wouldn't let me...
go off
have
with
a
a
go.
pervert.
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, that's really weird. It's like code. So you couldn't really play that in a Victorian parlour.
No.
It's songs like, have you heard of Have a Madeira, my dear? Where there's that man trying to get a young lady hammered on Madeira, which is like a sherry type thing, I think.
Not the cake.
Not the cake. No, I'd have a Madeira from anybody. I mean, if it was,
bring it
if it was the cake,
Pass it over.
I'd have the cake. But have a Madeira. Madeira was like an old man trying to get a young girl drunk, so he could do whatever he wanted to do with
Have
young
his
girls.
dastardly way with her.
Dastardly way. So you couldn't do that in a drawing because it wasn't a song.
Not enough room.
You'd have to act it out, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Have a Madeira, my dear. And I think it was banned. And there's, what's the other one? Come Into the Garden Maud, which was sung in Victorian parlours because it's Come Into the Garden. I think the words are by Alfred Lord Tennyson.
Good grief.
I don't know, I'm just guessing. But again, that's someone by the garden gate at night trying to get a young lady to come down to see him unchaperoned. Unchaperoned.
Raunchy stuff, everyone.
Yeah, for I am here at the gate alone. Yeah, you wouldn't have it.
I think if you say alone like that, it does sort of...
Alone, yes. Oh, songs like that, I think that would have been sung, but that's because it was done by posh people. But on the whole, Have a Madeira, no. Daddy wouldn't buy me a bow wow, certainly not.
No. A little bit of a bit of What You Fancy Does You Good?
Not at all.
No?
You couldn't. It would be like the Armstrong in the middle of Regency, the drawing room. They just wouldn't do it at all. So I think the songs that were sung in Victorian parlours were songs of, what's the word? Sentimental songs, sentimental ballads.
There's a lot of melancholy in there, though, as well.
Bittersweet melancholy. Bittersweet is a good
Sweet.
word. I hate it. But I think it sort of sums it up. And it's songs of social reform and things to remind you what's happening in the world that you are away from, fortunately. It's like when we watch things, well, I don't watch much on telly, but you watch things about murders and you can revel in all that, knowing that it's not happening outside your house or inside your house. You can just look at it and think, oh, it must be terrible. Oh, look at that, it's horrible. But I'm safe in my house watching it on the TV.
Yeah.
And I think it's exactly the same. They were songs designed to show you another side of the world or to bring things to your attention.
Yes.
Like that one we were just having to go of, Mother, I've Come Home to Die.
Insert clip here.
Yes. Yeah, which was about a soldier who come home from the war and he was going to die. There was a lot of death round then.
Well, I've watched a few documentaries about this period of music. I'm sure there's a better way to say that, but it escapes me at present.
No, you can't say genre either because it'll be going on. This stuff.
This sort of stuff I've watched a lot of documentaries about.
Yeah.
And the subject of death comes up quite a lot.
That's because there was lots and lots of death around.
But in a sort of good way, that apparently a lot of the songs that are about death, people found quite funny, especially in the music hall environment, only because it wasn't. It was normal that you would die when you were 40, or you got hit by a horse.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's sort of. It's not as sort of we read it thinking that that's quite grim, and sort of he's only 30 and he's got. Insert Victorian illness here.
Well, and yes, it would get you. And if you look at pictures of Victorians at the time, when they were about 50, if they got that far, they looked about 70.
Horrendous.
Terrifyingly old.
How do people age that quickly?
Hard lives.
Well, even if you watch things from the 60s and you look at the actors that were in it, and you Google them, and they died in like 1972 at the age of 80.
Yes.
But they look... It's like Arthur Lowe. Sorry to go on a bit of a tangent here.
Never mind.
I think Arthur Lowe was like 62 when he died.
Yes, that's weird, isn't it?
But he looked about 70
yes.
10 years before.
Yes, it's very strange, isn't it? It's really odd. But people had hard lives. And there was so much death around. I can't see music hall songs being about death too much, apart from Your Baby Has Gone Down a Plug Hole. The poor little thing was so wasted and thin it should have been bathed in a jug. Your baby is perfectly happy. He won't need a bath anymore. Your baby has gone down the plug hole. Not dead, just gone before.
Oh.
So I know. But there was so much infant death around at the time. There was death everywhere, and it was normal and commonplace. So people would come home to die. There's a song as well called, I think it's in this book, Shall I Be an Angel Daddy?
We should say that we are holding the Parlour book, the Parlour Songbook.
Yep.
There you go. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, which is a fantastic source of information for anything to do with Parlour Songs.
Oh, hello?
I think that's the Lord.
I do apologise. Hang on. I won't pause it. I can edit that out. Hello?
Oh. Hey, are we? Are we okay?
We are.
Are we? Okay.
Oh, do you want...
No, yeah, it's fine.
Are you sure?
Absolutely, yeah. Can they get the car out?
Yeah, just the driver.
Where were we?
Good question.
I just thought about McDonald's and he rude. Oh, yes. Death. Mug of death.
Yes, mug death.
Yeah. So the subject of death, like your baby has gone down the plug hole, it was everywhere. And I think I was just talking about Shall I Be an Angel Daddy? Which
Yes.
may well have been about a young person who was either so aware of death because she'd have seen maybe her brothers and sisters dying. Maybe she thought that she was going to be dead and be an angel, and that's the only consolation that they had. There are books. I used to have a book when I was very, very small, and it was a Victorian book, and it was all about children preparing to die.
Did you buy it new?
No, along with my autographed copy of the Bible and my Latin
On
driving
slate.
lessons. I hope you choke on your tea. Yeah, it was a book. I can't remember what it was called, but it was full of children facing death, and it was a terrifying book.
It's probably in Latin, wasn't it?
No, it was in very, very tiny print on paper-thin pages. Paper-thin pages, really thin pages. But
Paper thin.
yeah. Where are we? Shall I Be an Angel Daddy? Can we find it?
It's got to be in here somewhere.
It is.
We're scrolling through.
And there's a song here called Let Me Kiss Him for His Mother, which is obviously about someone dying far away from his family. So death was everywhere.
Shall I Be an Angel Daddy? Page 185.
Okay, 185. Let's have a look.
We're scrolling through. It's in the section called Boys and Girls or Songs of Childhood.
Oh dear, Songs of Childhood. We go to the back of that one, and
There we
the
go.
words will be there. One day a father to his son told a sad story, a heartbreaking one. He took from an album a photo and said, "This is your mother, but long she's been dead. She has left me to cherish and love. She is an angel, my child up above." And the boy drew in an instant or two close to his side, and these are the words that he softly replied, "Shall I be an angel, Daddy?" So everybody was aware of death, because there was so much death around. But not all Parlour songs were about death.
No.
They were about love, maybe unrequited love, like, say, After the Ball. Heartbreak, loss.
So this is a musical song. 1897.
Shall I Be an Angel,
The
Daddy?
song comes from the music hall of 1987. It was the Pet Shop Boys did this one. 1897.
Whoa,
The
really?
previous song belonged to the Impeccable Drawing Room School. This comes from the musical hall of 1897.
Wow.
The sentiments are very similar, but the song boasts a very fetching chorus.
It's a lovely
The
chorus.
setting is quite delightful.
Yeah. Can we, have you got any chance of sort of knocking that out on the old piano?
On the old Joanna.
Yeah. Was it 185 again, was it?
It is 185.
This book's going to snap again, isn't it, if
Yeah,
I open it?
This is going to be... oh, God. It's in a nice key as well.
Don't bother with that. Just play me... Shall I Be an Angel? What's my sounding note?
Okay.
Give me that E flat. What's the C? Oh, God. Shall I be an angel, Daddy?
Where's the... I don't know where it is.
Oh,
there it is.
186 down the bottom. Shall I
Oh, yes, there it is.
be an angel, daddy. Got a horrible key. Shall I be an angel? Was it a polka? Here we go. Shall I be an angel, daddy? An angel. I can't get there. But that's it. Shall I be
Take
an
our
angel,
word for
daddy?
it anyway.
An angel in the sky. Yeah, it's a lovely song. But again, death. But they weren't all death. You know, there was like songs of a miner's dream of home.
Dear mother, I've come home to die.
That's a lovely one. That really is. And that's the one we were trying to... Yes.
To achieve.
Yeah. But it needs 4 parts, I think. But if it's just 2 parts, 2 blokes' voices, everything sounds a little bit...
aggressive.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a sea shanty. Which, you know. So they weren't all about death. There were sentimental songs. There were songs about loss. There were songs about loss of a land or loss of a person. They were lovely songs. And they were designed to be sung. They were easy songs.
Yes.
So,
although the piano arrangements...
On some of the Victorian ones, I think the piano arrangements are fairly simple because if you had a difficult piano arrangement, you couldn't sell the song.
Mm.
And the only way to make any money was to sell the song. So on the whole, a lot of the piano arrangements, a lot of them are fairly straightforward.
Yes.
Easy keys, apart from E flat or whatever it was. I was A flat, wasn't it? Yeah. And easy to sing.
Yeah.
So the vocal lines were nice and smooth, a few big jumps, but on the whole they were easy to play and easy to sing, which is what you wanted in a Victorian Parlour song.
But I'd say that the style, well, definitely is very different to how you would write now.
Oh, it's completely different.
It's...
Yes.
It bears, like, no resemblance to sort of...
But the thing is, why and how? Because it's just, a lot of them are just 3-4 chords.
Well, they're sort of folk, I'd say.
It depends on the folk. They're not like stick your finger in your ear.
No.
Go on about something from the 16th century which never existed at all.
They're quite sort of... They're melodically complex, I'd say, because a lot of those melodies...
Yes.
They do move around. They're very memorable.
Yes.
But at the same time, they do sort of wander about.
The vocal lines do.
Yeah.
Yeah. The melodies are interesting. So you're assuming that your singer can do it.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like, I hate to say this, Taylor Swift,
who
writes good songs, but a very, very limited vocal range.
Everything moves around you.
Everything moves around you, and you're not really taxed by the melody, which what people don't want. The only person who gets away with that these days is Adele, I think, who does all sorts of sort of almost pitch-perfect vocal gymnastics.
Yeah.
Oh, she's pretty good. But on the whole, yeah, these melody lines do move around because people took music, I'm not saying they took it more seriously, but they took the techniques, the singing. They were singing teachers and they were piano teachers.
I think, yeah, it's a very different world.
Yes.
But it was also probably a very different way of learning back then as well.
I think so.
You know, if you were learning the piano back then,
yeah,
you'd have been given all sorts of horrendous things to... I say horrendous. But sort
yes, I think...
What are we talking?
I think more would have been expected of you, because let's not forget that Victorian times, and if you're talking about sort of 1850s, that's not long after Beethoven died.
No.
Well, actually, not long after, but I think...
He's not cold.
No, Wagner was still knocking about.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of serious music about, and there were a lot of piano teachers, and it was, let's face it was the only thing you had.
Yeah, and it's probably quite an upper-class thing as well, because you wouldn't assume that everybody's going to have a piano.
Although there were thousands being made and sold.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say middle class to upper class.
Because you think you've got to learn how to play it.
You need a piano in your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need room for a piano in the house.
Yes. I think that's the main thing, is that you've got, if you haven't got the space, you're not going to learn.
No.
'Cause you can't fit it in the room.
So you need a parlour to put it in. So it is middle class to upper class.
So, let's cross the pond a little bit.
Oh dear. Do we have to?
I think we should.
Okay.
I think we should. So we're going to talk a little bit about somebody who's known as the father of American music.
Yes. You can trace him all the way forwards.
You can.
And you end up with Randy Newman.
You do.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that.
Oh.
And, but the person who we're going to talk about, it's sort of, it's not very politically correct to speak about him.
Not very?
Not.
Well,
It's not.
You can speak about him.
You can. But the baggage he brings with him,
oh boy,
is very questionable.
It is just questionable.
It's not even questionable. It's wrong.
It's wrong.
So
yeah,
we're just gonna talk about Stephen Foster for a moment.
It's one of my favourite composers of popular songs.
Now, yeah. So Stephen Foster. Oh dear. So he was one of the first sort of successful American composers.
Yes.
Really?
I think so.
And he's regarded as the father of American music.
Yeah.
I suppose. Well, wasn't it... no, I'm saying something wrong there. No. So, Stephen Foster wrote the same sort of things as the Victorian Parlour Song.
I think... When was he writing? When was he born?
Let me have a look. In the book. I nearly said it in a questionable way.
I think he wrote songs about the aftermath of the... and probably during the American Civil War. Just when this dreadful war is ended. It's one of his songs.
What I could do is just sort of Google it.
Googling is boring.
No, you'd assume on the back it would say Stephen Foster, 1922 to...
Yes, yeah.
But it doesn't.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I'm fairly certain. I think we should find out before we
let's
make fools of ourselves. Can you edit this bit out?
I can.
Oh, it's all right.
I'll put a little clap. Actually, I'll do that. Okay, so Stephen Foster, he was born on the 4th of July, 1826, in Lawrenceville, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the United States.
Okay, so we're talking... that's very, very early, isn't it?
And he died on the 13th of January, 1864.
Now, that's hardly into Victorian, but he was firmly in Victorian times.
Yeah.
And by the time his songs had gone around the world, then you'd have been Victorian.
Yeah.
And people would know them and they'd be able to sing them in their parlours without much thought, I would have thought.
So he wrote some very familiar tunes to people.
Yeah.
Songs that still exist today, really.
A lot of them do.
Yeah.
They might have different words.
I would think that very likely.
Yeah, but everybody knows a Stephen Foster song, I would have thought.
Yes.
Did you start out B flat?
I did.
I would never have done that. God.
What?
The Camp Down Races.
Yes.
No, maybe we should explain how he wrote his songs.
So, Stephen Foster, we should just get this out of the way first. A lot of Stephen Foster's lyrics were very racist or racially insensitive.
At the time. They are now. At the time, I think all of these things have to be taken in the spirit of the time, the zeitgeist.
Yep.
So at the time, they would have been quite acceptable because...
Maybe for him.
And his audience.
Yes. The people, for him and the people he was writing for.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We have to tiptoe around this. Because at the time... Okay, let's just say where he got his songs from. Maybe he didn't write all his own melodies.
No.
A lot of his melodies were stolen wholesale and improved or not. And they were stolen from slaves.
Yes. I think he attended a black church, didn't he, growing up?
Did he?
Yes.
Right, okay.
So, and apparently, I think the Camp Down Races, that was a sort of, I'm assuming you say gospel song?
Right, yeah, was it?
I'm not sure when gospel began to be known as gospel, but what you would assume to be a sort of American churchy, sing-alongy kind of
right.
thing.
Okay.
That's what he remembered it to
Right.
be.
Okay. All right. Okay. So he would, So he would have nicked an awful lot of his songs
Yes.
from the black people that he grew up around,
Yes.
and that he heard singing
Yes.
while they were at their forced work or in church.
Yes.
And he would have probably taken some of those words as well, but not many. Once you've got a good tune, which is what he had, which is what were given to him, then you just stuck words to it. And his words of most of his songs were glamorizing the work of slaves,
Yes.
and especially glamorizing the slave masters, who were, it seems, universally horrible.
Yeah, you never hear of a nice one, do you?
No, they were appalling people. They did terrible things. But according to Stephen Foster and his songs, and the people in his songs, they were all lovely. And they mourned their passing when their master died.
Yes, I'm sure they did.
Yeah, God, no way.
They're not tears of sadness.
They were, no, not at all. And there's one... do we want to read any of these lyrics out?
I think we should. I think for context.
Well, yeah. The thing is, the melodies are so nice that unfortunately we can't do anything with them because the words are so insensitive.
Yes. I mean, call out a song.
Masses in the cold ground.
Yes. Let me find that
Now,
for you.
This is a song of lament because their master has died and has been buried and he's now in the cold ground. No, I can't see that somehow. You know, if you're forced to work all your life, back-breaking, terrible work, for no pay, nothing at all, then you would not be mourning the fact that your master had died.
Yeah, well, I think if I quote you the first line...
Oh, don't. Really?
Well...
seriously?
I think everybody gets the point.
I'm going to find one here. I'm sure
It's
it here.
And the thing is as well, not only are there sort of insensitive words, they're written in a sort of faux pronunciation, like the way...
We're stuck, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are written in the colloquial.
Yeah, they're written as he heard. I think he's sort of phonetically written them as some of the words.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, rather than the being spelled T-H-E.
You can't read the first line.
No, yeah, that's what I mean.
You can't even read the first line of this one.
No.
So there we are. And you can read the second if you alter the English.
Yes.
I wouldn't even read any of this.
No.
Thing is, it's such a lovely, lovely song.
I think that's the problem that you have with this sort of stuff, is that I know recently there was a Stephen Foster statue that was in his place of birth, and it got taken down. The city removed the statue. Now, it's not to take anything away from the songs. If the lyrics didn't exist, the songs would be... they're great.
They would be the foundation of American, not just folk music, but American music.
Undoubtedly, he would be the sort of the number one.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
But because of the racial elements to all of his songs, pretty much.
There are a few that aren't, and they are the ones that have stood the test of time because you can get away with singing them now.
Yeah. Have you seen the second verse of "Oh, Susanna"?
Oh. You see, again, there's probably elements in the first verse that you can't take any notice of. And if anyone's trying to figure out what we're talking about, see if you can Google these songs and find the original versions. We're fortunate. We've got a book of the original versions here, which you can't really get anymore. And some of the words are, they make your hair curl.
They make your teeth curl.
Or drop out.
Let's have a little look. There you go. There's the second verse. Right by there. Try not to show it to the camera.
Oh, good grief. Seriously?
Now, we should point out as well that this song is still very popular. Oh, Susanna.
Yeah, but no one knows the words.
No.
And I haven't heard it sung for years.
Since he showed it you the first time.
Yeah.
What do you think of this, Tim?
Oh, dear. Right. Oh, my word. Right. And we have to explain why they were so popular. One, they were good. Two, they were highly popularised. They were highly sung all over the place. Because shows... This is really a tricky conversation. I thought it'd be easier than this.
It's really tricky. It's only tricky because we're not really in a position to sort of be able to speak about racial sort of issues.
No. But you can't really talk about Stephen Foster and how popular his songs were without talking, I'm afraid, about minstrel shows.
Now, well, Stephen Foster was a minstrel performer.
Right. Was he?
He was.
Good grief. Right, okay. Now, for those people who don't know, minstrel shows were blackface shows, basically. You would, and there was one that was very, very popular on BBC One up until the late 70s, maybe even early 80s. The Black and White Minstrels.
Yeah.
You can look for that on BBC One, and you will probably quite rightly be appalled by it.
Yes.
Because everybody used to look forward to this. And you think, well, but and even, say, the 20s and 30s, Al Jolson.
Huge.
star.
Al Jolson is probably the biggest performer of the 20s and 30s, probably.
He made a fortune.
Yeah.
And he used to do it practically all in blackface.
Yeah, all of them. Little Pal.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Indeed, Miss P thought he was black.
Yes.
Until she found out, and then she didn't believe anybody. But it was truth. But minstrel shows were hugely popular all over the world.
Yep.
And that's how Stephen Foster's songs travelled. They travelled with the minstrel shows.
Yeah.
And they made their way into parlours.
It's because I've obviously doing a bit of research for this. The minstrel side of performing was huge in the music halls as well.
Was it?
And apparently when some of the American minstrel tourers, I don't know what the caravans or whatever you call them, that they come over, they couldn't believe that we had created the same thing.
Seriously?
Without seeing them perform.
Wow. Really?
So we had, but I'm saying this with sort of, take it with a pinch of salt. Apparently, the British minstrel shows, the songs' lyrics weren't to sort of put them down. They were sort of written in a sort of more we're great way.
Oh, nice.
I'm saying that, a pinch of salt, have a Google.
I will.
Well, maybe don't Google minstrel show.
No.
Near me.
But they did exist.
Yes.
And I think any serious conversation about, say, American folk music or Stephen Foster or vaudeville, you can't avoid the subject.
No.
But how you deal with it and how you treat it is another thing entirely.
Yeah.
I think you should look at it and the motives behind it. No, you can't do that either. But just look at the melody and the music, not the words. Just look at the music and the melodies, and they stand out on their own. Because they're great little songs. Ignore the words.
Stephen Foster got taught the piano. It's very sort of... There's about 3 different dates that he was supposedly born. Right. So he's sort of that period where...
Yeah.
We're not that...
It's very early on. You were born. You were born
around then.
Yeah.
He had a music teacher, a German composer.
Wow.
And apparently he just picked up the piano, the violin, the clarinet and the guitar.
He's one of those.
So
yeah, okay.
I'm not sure to sort of what extent as if he was sort of known as the virtuoso. Probably.
His songs stand for themselves, I think.
Yeah.
And the piano arrangements are quite nice.
Yeah.
Nice and simple. Yeah. It's difficult to know how to treat him. His songs are great. However, there are a few that you can still do these days.
Yes.
My Dream of Jeannie. That's a lovely song.
That's still covered by endless amount of people.
Yes.
Who sort of
Yeah, it's just I dream of Jeannie with the... Actually, I keep on thinking she's a light brown bear. I dream of Jeannie
with the light brown hair.
With the light brown hair. But every time I hear it, that's all I can say. It's like hyperdemic nurdle. When I heard that for the first time, all I could do now is say hyperdemic nurdle. But I dream of Jeannie. She's in light brown bear. No, I dream of Jeannie with the light brown hair. It's a lovely, lovely ballad. It's very nice.
Yes.
Have you got any words to that?
I have. They are in this book.
Yeah. Did he write the words himself?
Good question.
We shall find out.
Everybody talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Oh dear. Well, just from the cover, there's sort of...
Let's not look at that. It's a lovely song.
What are we looking for? I Dream. Genie with a Light Brown Hair. He wrote that in 1854.
Oh.
It'd be handy if it told me what page it was on.
Yeah, well, that'd be nice. Just look roughly. Does it say somewhere near the middle?
I'll be there with you in a minute. Oh. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
There we go.
Poetry and Music by Stephen C. Foster.
I like the way it's called poetry. Just read a bit out.
I dream of Jeannie with light brown hair, born like a vapour on the summer air.
See that? It's lovely.
I see her tripping where the bright streams play, happily as the daisies that dance on her way.
See, that's really nice. That is,
yeah.
It's nicely poetry, and you can imagine that being sung in a Victorian parlour.
You can.
You know, someone playing the piano, someone standing up, waistcoat, one hand on the mantelpiece.
Yeah,
one hand on the mantelpiece and thumb in his waistcoat like that. Extravagant whiskers.
I think they're called Piccadilly whiskers.
Are they called Piccadilly whiskers?
Sort of the...
yes.
Yes.
Well, but you can see it. And it's a perfect song for it. Unfortunately, most of the other songs are perfect. Musically, they're perfect. However, lyrically, you can't touch them. No.
And quite right as well.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
We're not sort of trying to skate around saying, but we like them.
No.
But
no. Musically, yeah, the melodies are lovely, but lyrically, you can't touch them at all.
Well, when we were researching to do this episode, very vaguely, we purchased some books that you thought you had, but we couldn't find. And the problem is with a lot of the Stephen Foster books is that the lyrics just aren't in them.
No.
It's just the music, which sort of... It speaks volumes.
Yes.
But I say luckily or unluckily, I found this big book that's got all of the original copies of his songs in.
It's phenomenal.
Which is both terrifying and...
Yeah, I don't think you can find it anymore. I've got one somewhere. But and rightly so.
Signed copy.
And I think rightly so. His songs, his melodies are marvellous. But the sentiments behind them, well, they might have been normal at the time and normal no more.
No.
And maybe you could reuse the melodies.
Probably. I
can't imagine why that hasn't been done.
Well, he's apparently he died at the age of 36, I think, or 37. Yeah. And either he'd attempted suicide or he was ill. It's very vague. I've read some things that say that he attempted suicide, didn't fulfill that, and then passed away days after.
Yeah.
And then I've seen other accounts that say he was ill and then died a few days after. But he died with 38 cents in his bank.
See, I had, in the back of my mind, I read somewhere a long time ago that he died after an unfortunate accident with a toilet in his bathroom.
I've seen this as well, that he fell out of bed.
He fell, yes.
Smacked his head on the cistern.
Yes, and died.
And died.
Yeah. See, he also wrote Beautiful Dreamer, which is just a lovely, lovely song.
That one?
Unfortunately not. See, beautiful dreamer, wake unto me. Starlight and dewdrops are waiting for thee. Sounds of the rude world heard in the day, lulled by the moonlight have all passed away. It's lovely, lovely sentiment behind them, and they are sentimental songs.
So how do you reckon that? Because they're very, well, as it said in the book, poetry and music by. They are very poetic, aren't they?
His songs are weirdly poetic. They're lovely. And it makes you wonder how he went from the poeticism of Jeannie with the light brown hair, which I got right that time, and Beautiful Dreamer, right into the just out
Filth.
and out sort of. But we say it's racism now. It was normal for then.
See, I've got a theory that it was sort of to sell.
I think it was to sell.
Do the things that are popular.
That's what people
and then
wanted.
Do what you want to do.
Yes.
So I'm not trying to defend him here.
No.
But it wouldn't surprise me if the minstrel songs
Yeah.
were the cash grab.
The Lost Leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
okay. All right.
the sort of the genie with who was a light brown
Yes.
bear.
Yeah.
Are the sort of, well, I want to do this as well, but I'm not.
Do you think so?
Maybe.
He did the popular stuff and then he did the stuff he wanted.
Yeah.
And it's weird, though, that the stuff that he's remembered for are Beautiful Dreamer.
Yeah.
Because they were the songs that would have been sung in parlours and drawing rooms. I think the other songs are a bit too jaunty and a bit too bang, 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 bang. You can't get away with that standing by the piano. Not in a parlour.
No.
Music hall you could, because that's what music hall was all about.
Yeah.
Playing slightly racy songs to an audience who didn't really shut up.
No.
And were going to throw things at you unless you entertained them.
Entertain us.
Yes, or else.
Yeah. Well,
No turn would be left unstoned.
So that was about, there was a Glasgow music hall that had that written or
was
something
that the
on
Glasgow
the wall.
Empire or something like that?
Yeah. They left no turn unstoned.
I think so. So he was capable of lovely poetic love songs and songs of yearning and stuff like that. And he wrote the stuff that made him the cash.
Well, yeah.
Obviously not enough cash to not die after a collision with a
smack
toilet.
his head on the system, but you know,
this is a shame.
it's, you know, I don't think we could have had this conversation. You know, we barely scratched the surface of him, really, but I don't think you can talk about this period of music and vaguely this genre of music without mentioning Stephen Foster.
You can't. Certainly not American, and he wasn't on his own. There were other ones as well, but he was the one who he has the name.
Yes.
There was a Dan Hemmett or something like that. He wrote some songs.
Don Henley.
Was it Don Henley?
That's him.
Really?
Yeah. The third.
He's older than he looks, then, isn't he? Yeah, it's just unfortunate.
Mm.
You know, there's a lot of space and who about this, but you.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely hear his influence, though. Like, we've already mentioned Randy Newman. Now, there's a lot of similarities between Randy Newman and Stephen Foster. I'm sure he's sweating as I'm saying that.
Well,
but musically, definitely, there's a lot there. It's very American. I know that sounds like a sort of.
You're right.
If you were going to try and define American,
yeah. In music,
yeah,
you'd have to say Stephen Foster, Charles Ives, if you want to get really arty about it.
Well, let me just move over to the piano.
Copeland,
Aaron
Copeland. Aaron Copeland. But again, with things like Hoedown, I'm fully certain that was nicked from Irish, Welsh, Scottish melodies. I reckon it was. Yeah, I reckon that's just Celtic fiddle music.
Oh yeah,
Americanized.
So, a lot of these songs and a lot of these parlour songs as well. So apologies, I've just switched mics so I can be nearer the pianola. They follow a very similar chord progression. Or they do a similar thing, like the turnarounds are always the same.
Right.
I'd say.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree.
So, but a lot of them are very British sounding.
Which wouldn't be surprising, because if he took the original songs that the slaves were singing, and then he'd need to make them popular for not a largely British audience, but a largely Western audience.
Yes.
Then he would have to use the musical, what's the word? Musical
devices,
tropes and devices that were familiar.
But I think you can tell that Stephen Foster is American. When you hear that...
Oh, yeah, it's tricky, though. How do you define Americanism in music?
See, and how do you define the Britishness of some of those songs as well?
Now you're into... Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless you do a good analysis, a harmonic analysis of what makes British music British and American music American.
See,
it's tricky.
I'd say that it's a lot of like wide harmonies in the piano arrangements.
See, instantly all I can hear now is it Buzz Lightyear's theme from...
it's something like that. Isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of that sort of...
Yeah, but there's a lot of gospel in that as well.
Yeah, but it's all three chords, isn't it, really?
It's all three chords.
And everything else is just sort of embellished over the top of it.
Well, that's because three chords are popular and easy to sing. And you don't want anything too complicated. I mean, no one's going to walk down the road whistling something by Charles Ives. But we'll all walk down the road whistling something by Stephen Foster.
Yeah.
It has to be simple. Simple sells.
It does.
Kiss, keep it simple, stupid.
Mm.
And he knew that.
So, let's cross back over to this.
That was a quick excursion.
It was a quick excursion. I'm not sure how much we can sort of squeeze out of Stephen Foster without sort of...
It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the shovel is looming very near.
I think we've done Stephen Foster, but his influence on popular music was huge.
Yeah, I don't think we could speak about Stephen Foster. I don't think we could speak about this subject without speaking about Stephen Foster.
No, you can't.
Just because his influence is obvious on the rest, on the sort of the trajectory of modern music. It's there.
Yeah, and if you think of Parlour Songs, then it's easy to imagine someone singing I Dream of Jeannie, because it's such a lovely song.
Yeah. So,
yes,
the British Parlour song.
Yeah, like I said right at the start of this, I think they're Dickens-inspired songs of... not just reminiscence, songs of loss, and songs designed to remind you or show another side of society that was far away from you, that you could sing about in the warmth of your own room while people starved and died outside.
Nice.
You might not do anything about it, but at least you can sing about it. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it might have raised awareness of people, but it wasn't all about that. It was all about death. It was all about love. Unrequited love, all that sort of stuff. Very nice songs. Songs of war as well. There are a lot of wars going on. We're fighting everybody.
Well, what are we on about? Sort of in the Victorian era. Well, no. Yeah. So we're pre-First World War, but we invaded everywhere. Everywhere.
Because of that, there were so many wars. That means there was so much death.
Yes.
That's why the Victorians were not obsessed with death, but death was all around them. So they sang about it a lot. I'm just, soldiers and sailors. The soldier's tear. Let me like a soldier fall. People wanted to die.
You're asking for it.
Weeping, sad and lonely. Rocked in the cradle of the deep. That's obviously someone drowning in it.
Asleep in the deep.
And it is. It's, just rum and religion. Stuff like that. There were lots and lots of songs like that. But there were songs designed to make you think, I think. Songs easy to sing, designed to sort of pass a really nice evening.
Yeah.
And a lot of them had 4-part harmony, which meant everyone had to get involved.
Yes.
If they could. But there were a lot of singing teachers around at this time. Piano teachers and singing teachers doing a fantastic
trade. Making a fortune.
They were making a fortune because everybody wanted to sing. And it was said of young men, if you want to attract women, learn to sing. Because a fine voice would just attract women like moths around a flame, apparently.
Like the Lynx advert.
Yeah, they'd be falling from the skies. Yeah. And it did happen. It's
raining men.
Yeah, well, it's hallelujah. But a lot of them were songs designed to make you think.
Yeah.
Like Dickens. There's one here called Father's a Drunkard and Mother is Dead. And yes, that would have happened. Not in your middle-class parlour, but certainly a few hundred yards down the road.
So do you reckon do you think there's a bit of humour in that as well?
Oh, out in the gloomy night, sadly I roam. I have no mother, dear, no pleasant home. I don't think there's much humour in that one.
I don't know, because I think there's quite a bit in there of sort of very dark humour.
Well, I just... Okay, nobody cares for me, no one would cry, even if poor little Bessie should die. Barefoot and tired I've wandered all day, asking for work, but I'm too small, they say. On the damp ground I must now lay my head. Father's a drunkard, and mother is dead. There's not many laughs in that one. But you could sing that, and everybody would be entertained, and they think, isn't it terrible? Isn't it awful? Just like reading Dickens.
It's like people who like to be ill. They get a kick out of sort of just...
Yes.
Going to the doctors and just being ill.
Yeah.
Like,
but with that sort of song, you didn't just sing it, you could act it out as well. The angst you could wring out of that song. You could,
like a wet towel.
You could just wring every ounce of emotion out of that song. And easy to sing, I think. And it's in 4-part. We'll have to have a go at these 4-part ones, you know. Do us a favour.
Yes.
Can you give me... Oh, God, it's in A flat again. E flat, F, E flat.
E flat, F.
C. D, C. Okay. Da-dum. Okay, so out in the gloomy night. Yeah, it's lovely. Okay, let's get there. Out in the gloomy night. You see, it's perfect. Just even that.
That was beautiful.
That was, and it's that sort of backing, which is exactly what I've got here. It's just easy to sing. And out in the gloomy night, that sets your stall out straight away.
It was a hot summer night, and the beach was burning. There was.
And there's another song here, and I'm going to read this out for you as well. It's called Come Home, Father. Father, dear father, come home with me now. The clock in the steeple strikes 1. You promised, dear father, that you would come home as soon as your day's work was done. So he could be working. Oh, dear me. Oh, hear the sweet voice of the child, etc. So songs like this, easy to sing, full of melodrama. Victorian melodrama is what you want.
Oh, yeah.
And the songs were there. They were designed to entertain people. And if you sang them in the right spirit, then bingo. You have all your friends in the parlour be hanging on your every word.
Yeah. Got them there.
Yeah.
Like Freddie Mercury at
like
Live
Freddie
Aid.
Mercury at Wembley. Only in your drawing room with 5 or 6 people.
That's teeth.
And it was like an open mic night.
Yes.
It's like an open mic night, just with proper words and people who could sing.
And play.
And play. Yeah, which is, yeah. I'm a great admirer of Parlour Songs.
They're great. Yes.
Yes, but they are. It's a shame. It's a shame that sort of community spirit of music is gone.
Well, we were discussing this, weren't we, earlier on, that obviously we play. We do that music thing, we do.
Yeah, sort of. I should do more, but...
Yeah, but, you know, and the sort of the difficulties that we've had getting a gig.
No, it's impossible.
Right? Getting gigs. We used to have hundreds of the things.
Yes.
Like, couldn't move for them.
No.
And now, honestly, it's like finding chicken's teeth.
You can't do it, can you?
You know...
No.
You just can't find them. No. But the amount, I would love. I'm going to lean down and pick up a book.
Right.
Okay, bend with...
Is it Stephen Foster?
Bend with me. and he... Right.
Yeah.
I hold in my hand a piece of paper. It's... Right, this is a bus...
Peace in our time, because we're not going to be able to play anywhere.
So, 101 pub favourites for buskers.
Yes.
Now, some people, I think, would just sort of instantly think that is loads of cheese, terrible songs, right? There's some absolute amazing songs.
Yeah.
Right?
And again, they're a direct line.
They are a direct line. So moving on from Parlour,
Yeah.
the music hall comes next, and the music hall sort of turns itself into pub.
Yes, for all the wrong reasons, I think.
Yes.
I think the music hall... I don't know why it died out. It might have been World War One.
Probably they were all bombed.
They're all bombed.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just outlived their... Yeah, well, who knows? Who knows? It's one thing we'll have to research. But yeah, I think Parlour Songs are okay if you're posh. For the rest of us...
Yep.
Who wanted to go out and be entertained after a hard week of work, we'd go to the music hall and we'd have variety, which you don't get anymore.
No.
You used to get it on a Saturday night. You'd have like an hour and a half of something with jugglers and some gymnasts and cannon and ball and someone who could sing.
Hey up.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a nice variety program. That's gone now. That's not what people want.
No.
But music hall was all about variety.
Well, obviously, I keep saying we've done a bit of research. So, the music halls,
Yeah.
apparently, they were sort of developed by public houses as sort of being their entertainment room or their supper room.
Oh.
So, a lot of them were originally called supper rooms.
Oh, really?
Supper room entertainment.
Sure.
So, you would pay,
Yeah.
half a crown.
Ah.
And that would get you into the supper room,
Right.
and also buy your first drink,
Oh.
and entertainment would be provided.
I didn't know
so
that.
I think all of the music hall stuff is just a way to shift booze.
Well, everything is.
Yeah,
In a capitalist society,
everything's about booze.
People want to make money.
Yeah.
And too much booze is what they were singing about in their parlours.
Mm.
But outside, you just sang about the glories of
Let's
booze.
get more.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Work is the curse of the drinking classes. Yes.
So apparently, when the supper rooms were built,
Yeah.
sort of in the pub's back gardens, sort of thing, they weren't allowed to. So in the current climate of like sort of 1850 to like 1920,
Yeah.
that's sort of the music hall golden era, supposedly.
Right.
So the king would only give a theatre licence to 2 venues.
The king.
The king,
Wow.
right?
Okay.
So this is pre-Vic.
Yes. Yeah.
So Drury Lane
Yeah.
and the Royal Opera House.
Right.
So the music halls were not allowed to perform plays. So that's where the musical songs...
Oh, right, okay.
Because a lot of them are acted out, aren't they?
Yes.
Sort of, you see the performers.
Yeah.
One of the first musical songs is Champagne Charlie.
Is my name.
Yeah.
Champagne Charlie is my name. Yeah.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah.
And they're all sort of acted in character, aren't they? With sort of...
Yes. Yeah, by some fabulous actors.
Yes.
And some great singers.
Some amazing performers
Yes.
as well,
Yeah.
And the songs are great.
Yeah.
So...
But a lot of the songs are a bit rude, as it's just sort of, Daddy wouldn't buy me a bow wow. But and again, you were aiming for the lowest common denominator. It was like the Love Island of their day.
Yes.
Not that I've got anything against Love Island.
Oh,
but it was that everybody watches Love Island.
I will say, just on a tangent, Love Island is absolutely terrible. It's just, I can't believe
Well, that's what
the
happens.
abuse
Yeah.
of just... It's incredible.
But that's what people want.
Apparently.
Yeah. And the music halls were the same. You could go there, you could get drunk, you could have something to eat, you could shout at the people on stage.
Yeah.
You could throw things. Apparently, I can't see them ever throwing things. But
Well, apparently.
really, they did. Okay.
The young boys would always sit in the proscenium arch.
Wow.
As,
Gee.
And some of these music halls are beautiful buildings.
Yes.
Especially the big Empire ones, but the smaller ones even more.
Yeah.
All of sort of the young boys would come in and were allowed upstairs.
Whoa.
And they would take opportunity, because the arch would sort of slightly overlap downstairs, to relieve themselves
they didn't.
onto performers and the audience.
Really?
And they would come in with horse manure in their pockets because it'd keep your hands warm.
Well, they're posh then, weren't they?
Throw it, throw it at them.
Seriously?
And apparently the ladies of the place
I don't want to know this.
would have fish guts from the stalls.
Seriously?
To throw at the bad performers. Apparently, the Glasgow Empire was notoriously the worst, like...
Wow.
Just impossible. Like, you just couldn't play it.
Good grief. I didn't know that. Fish guts.
Fish guts and eyes.
Fish guts and wee.
Yes.
Ooh.
But apparently they were so smoke-filled, because everybody was smoking, that you could never see who was doing what. Or
wow. It must have been fantastic.
Well, it's Frank Matcham, right, is one of the architects that built all of the Empire.
It's a name I thought I'd heard of, but I haven't.
Yeah, I think I'd heard it before sort of Googling it. And he designed all of the Empire theatres. And they have an enormous chandelier in the middle.
Yes, you have to, yeah.
But there's a flue built into the chandeliers.
No.
That is, a ye olde filtration system.
Never.
Yeah.
It all went past the chandeliers.
It all goes through the chandelier and gets...
Imagine the colour of those chandeliers.
They were yellow.
They must have been yellow, like Lucasade bottles. God, seriously?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, good grief. Yeah, it must have been an entertaining place.
Yeah. It's
it must be like warfare. Imagine the band.
Oh, yeah.
Because there'd always be a pit band. Imagine that. You're in the crossfire between the artistic and the... What's
depths of hell.
The depths of hell.
Yeah.
Imagine being the conductor. You have to duck. Guts and whittle going past you with the rate of knots. Oh, it must be horrible. Oh, nasty. But it must have been a fantastic place.
Yeah.
And the people who could survive are the entertainers.
If they were good.
So
I think that's the thing that sort of, it filters out all of the sort of...
Yeah. All of the mediocre ones.
Yeah.
But then again, okay, so I'm saying mediocre. When you're talking about music hall, what I think of is Wilson, Keppel and Betty. It was Stanley Holloway. Was he music hall?
He's later, isn't he?
Just had monologues, didn't he? But he was knocking on a bit. He must have sort of done something in music hall.
Well, Stan Laurel started a music hall.
Yeah. Charlie Chaplin probably as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, let's hope we got a decent reception.
Well, I know, I can't think who it was that performed Champagne Charlie. Can't remember what his name is, or was. But he made £250 a week.
Yeah, the money was huge.
A week.
The money was massive then.
And to put it into perspective, the average working wage would have been £20 a year.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, isn't it?
Between the family.
Yeah. It just drags people in. It's like celebrities these days, they get their money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's, you pay them, the people turn up to see them. That's why film stars and footballers are entertainers, they're not sports people. They get a huge amount of money. And obviously they did then as well. There was one I was thinking if we just turned the money down, I can't remember what his name was. He turned down a huge amount of money, with thousands and thousands of pounds. He said he didn't want to do it. That's probably
the fish guts and
it would
wee.
be the fish guts and the wee, wouldn't it? Oh, you wouldn't touch it with a bicycle. But there must have been fantastic places.
Yeah, and the songs, getting back to what...
yeah.
Really, we're here to sort of talk about the music of those times.
Yes.
The songs are just great. They're so well written. They're so well performed. And we are going to... Let's leaf through. Let's turn the pages of time.
No, largely these were comic songs.
Yes. Well, anybody that listened to the last episode of the podcast, we sang The End of Me Old Cigar.
Yes.
Which is a Harry Champion song.
Yeah, it's a lovely song.
Harry Champion, widely regarded as one of the kings of music hall.
I'm not going to doubt that at all.
No, I'm not going to doubt that at all. And
probably stank of fish and whittle.
Yeah. He's humming.
Maybe he probably didn't.
Yeah, well...
But there were songs that instantly appealing.
Yes.
With lyrics that were funny.
Now, I think it's Mary Lloyd was one of the...
Was she the one who was doing things with Prince of Wales?
Yes. Yes. And she had a saying that if they don't join in by the third chorus, she'd never ever sing the song again.
Wow.
Doesn't matter where she was.
Seriously?
If they didn't join in on the third chorus, the song didn't work.
They just knew it by then. Whoa. Boy, good grief.
That's...
Really?
Yeah. After never hearing it before.
If you didn't know it by the third... See, it takes something to write those songs.
Yeah.
What sort of songs are we talking about?
Right, let's flick through the book. This, by the way, if anybody's interested in playing any of these songs, this book, the Bumper Book Music Hall, I don't know why it doesn't say of.
No.
It's the Bumper Book Music Hall, 100 songs for piano, vocal,
piano,
and chord cymbal songs.
Right.
Okay, it's Faber Music. It's a big bible of great songs. I used to sigh for the silvery moon.
See? That's a song of love and yearning.
I used to sigh for the silvery moon. I used to sigh.
So,
oh, I don't know where it goes.
Are these all the same tempo? Do you get any slow, yearning ballads?
See, we were talking about this on the phone the other day. I always assumed that Let Me Call You Sweetheart was a musical song.
Yeah.
But
Turns out it wasn't.
It was just a song from the 30s.
Yeah.
The sort of 6/8 waltz.
Lovely harmony. Yeah, we're going to have to sing some of these.
Yes. Well, I think we should. Oh, Champagne Charlie's in here.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
Oh, Mr. Porter, what can I do? I wanted to go to Birmingham, but they're taking me off to Crewe. Take me back to London quickly as you can. Oh, Mr. Porter, what a silly girl I am.
See now, Let Me Call You Sweetheart is in here. So, is my research wrong? And that it's just...
Have a look at it. It'll give you the publication date.
156.
Well, that's very early.
BC.
It was the Romans' favourite song.
Let me call you sweetheart. What did I say it was? 156.
Yeah.
Oh, 1910.
Musical.
There we go.
Musical. You were right in the first one. Yeah. Which goes to prove that you can usually recognise a musical song. Again.
It's very low, isn't it?
Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you. See, how easy is that to sing?
Yeah.
Love with you.
I'll tell you what. Let's sing a chorus.
No, I know the words.
I'm moving forward. Turning on my lamp. Get ready, everyone.
And a lot of these songs had opening verses, which are beautiful, but it's the chorus everybody knows. So let's go.
A lot of these choruses are completely verses are forgotten about, like "Roses of Picardy."
Oh, it's a lovely song. Sorry about the mic noise here. I'm busy fighting with Stans.
Who's Stan?
Give me that D.
Okay.
Give me that D again. I've gone down to one ear. What's happened to my thingy? Oh, there it is again.
Are you back?
Let me call.
Are we ready? All together now, everyone.
After three.
1, 2, 3.
Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you.
Just turning the page. You.
Let me hear you whisper that you love me, do. Keep that love light glowing, let your eyes so true. Flat. Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you. That's a perfect song. Everybody would know that.
What a great chorus.
And it's simple. It doesn't do much.
Have a pick.
Let me call you sweetheart. And there's some... where's the harmony there? We need Miss P here. She can let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love.
Where's it go? It goes from B flat, doesn't it?
Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you. That's where we should go.
Okay. Are you singing them?
1, 2, 3. Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go. Yep. If it wasn't for the houses in between.
Good God!
Which is this is a man who's got a fantastic house with a wonderful view. Unfortunately, spoiled by the houses in between him and the view. See, let's look for something that everybody might know. Ginger, you're balmy. The future Mrs. Hawkins. Oh, wow. 1915. I'm...
Baby called it Rachel.
Now, what about I'm... Give me a D. Give me a G. I'm Burlington Bertie. I rise at 10:30 and saunter along down
Burlington Bertie from
Bow.
Bow.
It is Burlington Bertie from Bow. Find another one. At Trinity Church. Oh God, I'm only a bird in a gilded cage. That's another one. That's a slow one.
Let's have a look. It's being put on the music stand now.
I don't know it.
Well, neither do I.
Where's the chorus? It's the choruses we go for. Like Mary Lloyd said, you don't know the chorus after the third chorus, and don't sing the song. I'm a bird in a guild. How's it go? Just play the.
What are we in? B flat?
Everything seems to be in B flat.
Yeah, it's weird. Hang on, sorry. Oh, sorry. God, it goes everywhere.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, maybe this wasn't it.
She's only
A bird in a guild. Oh. In a gilded cage. A gilded cage.
God, G flat. Yeah, it goes everywhere, that one.
Yes, that's enough of that one.
You know, when we said they're simple songs for everyone
Well, no,
to...
but they are. We just go through it and find something else. The Boy I Love is up. That's lovely, that one is. Can we just go back to The Boy I Love? This one caused scandal because it was sung to...
I'm a young girl, and
Yeah.
I've just come over from the country where they do things big.
Yeah, isn't this the one, was it, if it was Mary Lloyd, she sang it to the Prince of Wales as he was sitting up on the balcony.
Maybe.
I think it was. I think this one caused a scandal.
We're in the key of F for everyone.
It's an easy one. Chorus.
Boy I love is up in the gallery.
The boy I love is... where's the chorus? Is up in the balcony. The boy... is it Scottish?
Hey.
Give me a C, the boy I love is up in the balcony. Boy I love waiting down on me. I can't get that high, but this caused a scandal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lovely song.
They're great.
There's a lot of fantastic songs in there. We'll have to sort some out.
Yeah.
Especially the harmony ones.
Yes.
The harmony ones are beautiful. But yeah, so the songs in music hall you would never be able to play in Parlour Songs, in Parlours. Not because they're just separated by time. They're separated by style, genre and subject.
Yeah, they're They're sing-alongs, aren't they?
They are big sing-alongs
Yeah.
about potentially rude subjects that you'd never get away with.
Catchy choruses,
Yeah.
innuendo-filled. But I will say, a lot of them take an unbearable amount of skill to be able to pull off quite,
Yes.
we did End Me Old Cigar.
Yeah.
The amount of words in one line of
On and on and
a
on and
verse.
on and on and on and on. Yeah.
it takes...
Yeah. They're hard to sing.
And I think a lot of it is written off as just being comedy songs.
I don't think you can write comedy songs off. Which is going to be a subject for another evening.
I was going to say that's a whole... Because...
You can't. Comedy songs that's an art form on its own to make people laugh in a song that's memorable. Yeah, that's really taxing you.
Yeah.
And everybody knows a comedy song. And regardless if you think that comedy song is rubbish or not, the fact is you know it. It's stuck in your head forever. Someone's reaching down for something. It's the big book of comedy songs. Oh. Yeah, but there's not comedy songs.
No, but...
Yes. Right.
The influence...
It's a straight line.
Straight in there.
It's not even evolution. It's if you take Stephen Foster, Randy Newman.
Yep.
Change, adapt, use.
Yes.
Musical, Jazz and Dave.
Yes. The piggyback.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Desperately trying to keep tradition alive.
Yes.
And doing it.
Now, I didn't want to just bring up Chaz and Dave because they're great.
No.
But, one, they're great. And two, they, I'd say, are probably equally written off as just being...
A novelty act.
Yes.
Yes.
Which I think is a lot of the problem with musical, is that if you play somebody a musical song now, it would be put in the same bargain bin as Chaz and Dave, probably.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I think it's not just Chaz and Dave's fault. I think in the 70s and 80s... hang on, my microphone has
I should put my foot on your...
decided to attack me. No, I think I can put my foot on my own. There we are. I think in the 70s and 80s, anyone who remembers...
Exactly. They were huge.
They were huge, weren't they? Anyone who remembers Chaz and Dave remembers them from Saturday night variety programmes.
Yes.
Which I think they were probably shoehorned onto by publicists.
Apparently their manager just would not say no to anything.
They were on everything. They were writing theme tunes for everything.
Yeah.
They were good, but that wasn't what they were.
No.
They were the sort of knockabout.
See, this is where I got the idea that maybe Stephen Foster was doing cash grab songs and then being able to do things that he would want to do.
Yeah, just
because I think, obviously, if you take... I didn't think we'd be talking about Chaz and Dave, really, but...
You literally brought it up.
I did. There's a lot of their songs that are... The songs that people know of them are probably Rabbit.
Yep.
Ain't No Pleasing You.
Yep.
But Ain't No Pleasing You is not... I'd say that's just a great song. The novelty songs are probably Snooker Loopy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Rabbit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sidebud song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just... Apart from these 20 songs.
But yeah.
There is a rich, rich history of British music and culture that is...
And it all goes back to the musical.
Yeah.
And that they were trying to keep it alive.
Yeah.
And the fact is, they were popular. But they were very popular they're very popular in London.
Yeah.
You were going to say something there.
Well, they say...
Yeah.
Or said... One of them can still say it. That when they went to Australia and when they went to America to tour...
Right.
They just went down as well as...
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that's something to do with the novelty of sort of it's British, and I'd say, using broad strokes now, that the Americans are quite sort of... They romanticise Britain quite a lot.
I think I think that's a trait in everybody who's been separated from their home country. All they do is go on about it and sing about it, but they never go back.
No, yeah.
They go on about how great Ireland is.
Yeah.
How great Wales is, or Scotland, or
go
England.
there, then.
Yeah, go back there. Don't go on about how great it was. Go and live there.
Yeah.
But they don't. And I think, yes, they probably romanticise the old country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but if you take some of their songs that are written, there's a few of their songs that are completely, you would assume, covers of songs from the Edwardian era,
yes.
the 1920s.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Come to Me, My Melancholy Baby.
Ah, yes.
I would have said that's a cover.
Yes.
I Wonder in Whose Arms You Are Tonight.
Melancholy Baby, yes. I Wonder in Whose Arms You Are Tonight. I think did they write that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Melancholy Baby, no, they didn't write that one, surely.
I think they did.
No way.
Bear with. Hang on.
God, you got all the books ready.
I've got everything ready. Page 38. I hope I'm not wrong.
I'm sure Melancholy Baby's an old American one.
Oh! Pooh! Yeah, it's a great song, Mike, Melancholy Baby. They did a great version of it. Right, we'll end it there. No. Damn it.
It's a lovely, lovely song.
Yes.
It really
They
is.
did a great version of that song.
They did, right?
Right?
Song. It's a perfect song. Yeah, it's very nice. So, yeah, they are good exponents of the traditional music hall British song.
Yes. Yes.
And it's a shame. One, that they're not doing it. Two, that they didn't get recognised for that in the 70s and 80s. Not just snooker loopy and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, rubbish. I say rubbish.
Well, let's not say rubbish because, you know...
It's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. It's sort of that... I think a lot of people find this with probably loads of bands where the hits become the thing that everybody knows and everything else is just sort of brushed aside and overlooked.
Yes.
And I think they really suffer with that.
They really did suffer with it. Yeah. Because they're like musical royalty.
Honestly, for anybody listening, that when you say Chaz and Dave, people will just sort of...
Yeah. You just think of the two Ronnies, don't you?
Or even, what's the West Country band?
The Wurzels.
Yeah, that sort of... But even still...
Again...
Great players.
Great players, and they had a whole load of stuff that was just eclipsed by, I've got a brand new combine harvester.
Yes.
Because they were funny, they were good. It's the same with Chaz and Dave.
Yeah.
Although Chaz and Dave, like I said, musical royalty.
Yes. Words cannot describe how great...
No, and if anyone thinks that we're wrong, we're not.
No. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry, you cannot argue.
No, there's fantastic gigs.
Yes.
Really great atmosphere. They knew how to handle a live crowd. Their songs are good.
And they can really play.
And they can really play. And they can sing, and they're excellent.
And they could really write.
Yeah. But they were keeping the music hall tradition alive.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that they are probably one of the last, I wouldn't say they're the full stop, maybe they're the comma, of where music hall really stops.
I think they're the stop.
That's sort of...
I don't think anyone's going to go for it from now on.
No.
Why bother when you can get anything you want on Spotify?
Yeah.
No one's going to want to hear Harry Was a Champion or a little bit of cucum, little bit of... No one's going to want to hear that.
No.
But when they play it, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and I think all of that tradition of British music is incredibly rich.
It is.
There's so much there.
Yes.
It'd be impossible. We decided to do this just to sort of scratch the surface and maybe sort of point people in the direction of just have a look at some of this stuff.
Yeah. And you can only scratch the surface. There were so many musical artists and so many songs and so many Parlour songs and so many Edwardian songs, which are infinitely more difficult than Victorian songs.
And we're talking about such a huge period of time, sort of, say 1840 to 1920, 25. Yeah. Well...
Yeah, and now 1970. Where songs were just being churned out.
Yeah. I think Stephen Foster wrote something like 200 songs. But then you've got people over here like Noel Gay.
Oh,
the British...
Run, Rabbit, Run.
Yeah, the British Irving Berlin.
I'm leaning on the lamppost at the corner up the street.
Yeah.
Loads of stuff. I've got a Noel Gay songbook somewhere. And Ivan Novello.
Yeah.
Really, really good songwriters who are very much of their time.
Yes.
And they're sort of stuck there, basically. Because things move on.
Yeah, things change.
Yeah.
But I think a good song is a good song.
It depends. I think a good song is a good song if you want a good song. People don't want a good song anymore. People want a rhythm and a beat. That makes me sound like I'm 92. But that's what they want. Rhythm. Yeah, people don't want to sing.
No, yeah. It's increasingly difficult to make people sing.
Well, but all you got to do is go to, dare I say it, a funeral. Go to lots of funerals. Singing has stopped in funerals.
Yeah, nobody does it.
No one does it anymore. You'll have, who knows, something by Queen that people like. Yeah. Or My Heart Will Go On. Or Angels by Sarah McLachlan. Or Angels by Robbie Williams. Anything called Angel. Yeah. You'll just have that on. Because that's what people want. That's what means a lot to them. They don't want to sing. Singing's gone. And I think the whole Chas and Dave thing is about communal singing.
I think, yeah, and a lot of that of the music hall as well is the sort of...
Oh, yeah, everybody, yes.
Just let your hair down and just do it.
Just have a go.
Yeah, everybody just do it. Just go for it.
And this is what I like. Let's go to church music.
Hymns.
Hymns and carols.
Honestly.
Hymns are great. And
have I sent you my ultimate hymn book?
No, you haven't, and I want that. Is that the fake book?
Yes, yeah, the hymn fake book.
There's a lot of American stuff in there, isn't there?
There is, but there's also tons of stuff that's...
What I don't like about... I love hymns. The best things about religion are the holidays and the music. And probably the architecture.
And the wine.
And the wine. Lots of wine.
And the cassocks.
Yeah, I do like a good cassock. And a bottle of wine. Oh, no, you put me off now. Yeah. What was I talking about? I'm thinking, all I can think about now is cassocks. I'm a pervert. So, yeah,
hymns.
Singing.
Yeah.
Hymns and carols especially.
Oh.
Carols are songs of celebration. Hymns are songs. What we've done to them, if we've sanitized them and we've over-harmonized them, and we want more. When I think hymns and carols were being sung in chapels and churches, they were being just belted out by everybody. Yeah. No one bothered about harmony. They just went there to have a good sing-song.
Well,
we just don't do that anymore. We have 4-part harmony in carols.
Nobody knows any carols anymore either.
No, I know some carols. I know
the morning work.
No. Carols are. I know. I wish it could be Christmas every day.
Yes.
Yes.
This is what everybody. The Mariah Carey one.
The Mariah Carey one.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No, but they don't do them in schools.
No.
But then that could take us on to the terrible state of music teaching in schools.
Yes, and the sort of they're very religious, aren't they?
Yes. And you can't have that anymore.
Well, yeah, it's just sort of...
Edit that one out.
Yeah.
God. Yes.
But no, I know what you mean, is that it's sort of... They're very Christian, aren't they? They don't sort of... They're not multi-faith songs.
No.
They are very Christian.
Well, it's Christmas.
Here comes Jesus of Nazareth.
Yes.
Here he comes, here he comes.
Yes. Hey.
Hark, hark, hark.
Yes. Which, and all that's... We're not a Christian society anymore. We're not a religious, we're a secular society.
Yes.
All you got to do is go to church. There's 3 old women in there.
Well, like, I'm going to say something now I don't think I've ever said on the podcast.
Yeah.
I used to go to church as a small boy.
Yeah, I think I used to be forced to go to chapel.
Yes.
Yes.
Up until probably I was about 9 or 10.
Yeah.
I would have thought.
Yeah.
Every Sunday.
Yeah.
I'd have to go with me 9.
Yeah.
To church.
Yeah.
And there was nobody there.
No. Nobody.
Nobody there.
No one at all. All you've got to do is stand outside a church or a chapel, if there are any chapels open anymore, and you see the few people streaming out.
If they're not flats.
Yeah, a person has flooded out.
With a Honda Jazz outside.
Yes, they're all closed down because no one does it anymore.
No.
But, however, that's just churches and chapels. I think if you go into inner cities and you go to the big Christian rock, or even multi-faith worships, those are big.
Yeah.
Because they go there, they have a nice time. They dress up, you can sing, have a really good sing-song and a good worship. It's good for you. It's good for your soul. Even if you don't believe, it's just nice to be around other people doing the same thing.
I think, people get a kick out of people getting a kick.
Yes. Yeah. I think getting a kick is contagious.
Yes.
Because you're there, you're singing with people, you're all doing the same thing. And it must be lovely. I'm not religious myself, but I admire people who are.
Yeah. It must be nice to believe in
something else. Yes. No, it's, but that act of worship, especially the singing, but we've lost all that.
I'd say a huge part, other than you, I'm not saying that you're a huge, but it's a huge part of probably my musical upbringing is being completely sort of swamped by religious music.
Yes.
Not that I am religious, I'm not.
But it's fantastic stuff.
And it's really well written.
Got to be. Easy to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of easy to sing, as long as it's not in a crematorium and
yes.
you've got the wrong chord. It's not the wrong chord, you're just in the wrong place. Was it Mike Batt saying that?
Yes.
Yeah. It's always in the wrong key.
Those in peril on the sea.
It's always in the wrong key, so you can't get it. But we've lost that. And I think music has changed. People don't want to sing anymore. They want to listen.
Yeah.
And why sing a hymn when you can listen to Angels by Robbie Williams, because it's a bigger song?
See, I'm not sure where I stand on this with the sort of the piping in of songs at funerals. I know it's massively popular.
That's because
it's probably popular because nobody knows any hymns anymore.
Yeah, yes. If like 90% of the population went to church, then church songs would mean more to them than popular songs. But we don't. Popular songs are the soundtrack to your lives. Well, my mother went to a funeral a few days ago, and
my mother saw your mother there.
Oh God, really?
Yes.
Oh, welcome to roast.
Yeah.
And
she said she couldn't get away.
It was a rugby club one, wasn't it?
It was huge.
And the song in the middle was "Runaway" by Del Shannon, which would have meant an awful lot to that person.
Yes.
Far more than anything else.
Yeah.
And all his friends, and everybody would have known it.
Yeah.
I agree with that entirely.
Yes. I do. I get that.
But it would be nice if people would sing, but they don't sing.
I think it's the accepted thing now that you just pipe in a song that person liked.
But it's a soundtrack to their lives.
Yeah, that's what I mean, is that only because they weren't sort of in that world. They don't know any of those songs. That's not their fault.
They don't know any religious songs.
Yeah.
Well, do they need to?
No, I'm not saying that. But I'm just trying to sort of... They're great. I've played... I've played the organ for a few weddings.
Oh, boy, haven't you?
And I can confirm it is the most terrifying thing you'll ever do.
It's really scary. Organs are horrible to play anyway. Especially when you've got to play it on demand.
Honestly, how people get any enjoyment? No. I mean, you hit a note and it goes, whoa.
Yeah.
There's a lag.
There's a lag at everything you play.
It's like when you watch a huge orchestra and the conductor, and they sort of woof.
Yeah.
Everything grinds to a start.
Scary things.
And
grinds to a start. Yeah.
People don't know any hymns. So like when they were sort of saying, what song shall we have?
Yeah.
People only ever choose Morning Has Broken, or
yes.
Morning Has Broken, All Things Bright and Beautiful.
Yeah. It was, no. But even now, they wouldn't know that.
No. See, one of my favourites is Love's Divine.
Oh, it's lovely, that. So there's such a wide range on that song.
Yeah, huge.
And if you're not practicing that every Sunday, you've had it, really.
Yeah.
You'll be lost. And which is why people don't want to sing. The communal singing has gone. It's gone completely.
Even when we've played we've played a gig.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, when was that?
Yeah, I think it was the turn of the millennia.
Yes.
People just don't want to sing along.
No, they don't.
And even if they know the song,
They don't know the song.
See, yeah, but we've played some stuff.
Yes.
That
people don't know. People think they know
until they have to do it.
until they have to do it.
Yeah.
They might know the title that they can yell.
Yes.
Or they might know la da 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 da. They might know that bit.
How's your father?
Yeah, but they wouldn't know the words
No, yeah.
because people don't sing. And people should sing. And that singing started not with music hall but with churches. Everyone singing together.
See, people are really embarrassed to sing in public as well.
Yes, that's because they don't have any practice of doing it.
It's really strange.
I'll get up and sing anything at anyone, even though I've got a terrible voice.
I'll hold my hand up. I'll do the same. I'm right behind you.
Yeah, but it doesn't bother me. But it bothers a lot of people because they don't do it. They don't do it at all, and they should, but they won't. Because it is quite nice if you're in a big choir. Then that's fantastic sometimes. As long as you can keep to your own line and not listen to the tenors because they've got a better line than me. That is quite difficult.
Can you see your parts?
Yeah, but but once you've got it, it's like that thing we were singing earlier. Just two parts, but it's the blending of those voices.
This might sound really sad as well.
Yeah,
it's really fun.
Yes, it's great. This is why, strangely, people get together to sing madrigals. No, they do. You get people get together to sing madrigals. Some of them are quite racy, apparently, with saucy lyrics.
Good grief.
Yes. But apparently madrigals are lovely to sing. But that four-part stuff, if you get four people singing it, it's just marvellous. Which I never used to think so, because I used to try and do two-part with Miss P. And maybe I wasn't interested. I don't know what it was. But it was nice at the time. And maybe I should have done more of that. Because it just feels nice. There's something about those blending of voices and the vibrations.
It does do something.
Yes.
I'm not religious, right? But it does do something.
I watched an Inspector Morse once. And Inspector Morse said he's not religious at all. But sometimes when he hears Mozart, and then nothing. He just dot, 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 dot. And I think he's right. Sometimes when you hear music, you think, yeah, there's something higher there.
Yes.
Yes. And that's why the best things about religion are the music, the holidays, and the architecture.
A lot of these hymns, you hear like the King's Choir at Christmas. It's on every year.
Yes.
Probably the best choir in the world.
Very good religious choir.
You know, as religious choirs go, in their cassocks.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable.
They are very good. But what would you rather? Would you rather be part of that? Or would you rather go to a midnight mass, Christmas Eve, 12 o'clock,
100%.
and just belt stuff out without any pretense?
See, a bit of both. Because I think sometimes, especially here, it's very different watching something on the telly or listening to something with your headphones on to actually being there.
There's no contest.
And feeling it.
There's no contest. You do feel it.
It's really strange.
It's just, yeah. You have to be there when it's being done.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't listen to music. I don't listen to music, any recorded music, unless I have to try and learn the bits.
Well, your wax cylinders are paint.
It's terrible. Just heat. They're all flat. Yeah. I don't bother listening because you don't get that full thwack when you've got a massive orchestra or something.
Yeah.
Hearing an orchestra has a weird sense of mellow power to it.
I will say as well, sorry to go on another tangent.
Well, we're just going off on a tangent anyway, it doesn't matter.
The music halls sound great.
Yeah.
What amazing sounding rooms.
Yes.
If you go to all of those theatres in London now where like The Lion King or Wicked, those rooms sound incredible.
Yes.
And they're dead.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing. No. You can hear somebody whisper on the stage
weird,
from right at the top.
Yeah.
And they're not, supposedly, they're not built to sort of...
No.
With thinking of that thing, because they build halls now being very acoustically aware.
Yes.
You know?
But it depends on the singer. Again, let's go back to Miss P, who can tune a harmonica in the voice in order to cut through everything.
Tune the harmonica in her voice.
Yeah. Good singers don't just sing. They are tuning the harmonics all the time so that they can just cut through anything there.
I think a lot of people sing and they're not aware. Like, I sing, and I just sort of... I just sing.
I do musical shouting.
I get free... Sometimes rhythmically as well.
Yeah, well, no, not always. But when you realise what singers are doing...
Yeah.
When you try and figure out what that singer's doing, it's just bewildering. It's like chess. All right, there's me playing chess, rubbish. There's someone good playing chess, yeah, they're all right. And there's the masters, and what they're computing all the time is unbelievable. Snooker.
Yeah.
If I can figure out the white ball, I'm all right. And if I can make that white ball hit a red, I'm fine.
But then you've got to do a colour.
And there are no, I don't get that far. And there are people, say, down the club, who can not only pot the ball, but they know where they are for the next ball.
They know where that white ball is going to end up.
They know where that white ball is going to end up. And they're the professionals who are 5 or 6 balls ahead of you.
You look like Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Yeah, he's 5
chooses not to try.
Yes. Yeah, because he can.
Yeah, because
they're on another level.
Yeah,
and singers are on another level. They can do stuff we don't even know they're doing it. We think they're making a nice noise.
Yeah,
it's just the tuning of the harmonics and where the voice comes from, and the belt voice and head voice and chest voice. Oh, God, it's another world.
It makes me sick.
Yeah,
it really makes me sick.
So
because I've thought about it a few times now to sort of go for lessons. What's the end of that sentence?
There
really?
we are then,
but,
yeah. But if you listen to... Because I've got this thing about... When I sing, I don't listen to music. I've got this thing about the quartet from Rigoletto. Can't remember what it's called. But it's got...
It's a good one, that.
Placido Domingo and someone else, and Joan Sutherland and someone else. There's 4 of them, because it's a quartet. And you think Placido Domingo's good. But when Joan Sutherland just starts, it's just phenomenal what she can do.
Some scary voices.
And she's just trampling all over. Did I say Placido Domingo?
You did.
I didn't mean Placido Domingo. It was a big one. The other bloke. 3 tenors. Pavarotti, yeah. Pavarotti, who's, he could sing. But Joan Sutherland makes him look like a beginner. I mean, he's great. He's got a fantastic voice, but she's bronchial neck. And it's all the tuning that goes on. They're just hitting that thing over and over again.
They sort of constantly adjust. Like, you can see them doing it as well. You can sort of...
Yeah. Yeah, and when she hits that last note, she just draws herself back.
You can see them move.
Goes for it. And it's phenomenal. So there's that, which is all... it's lovely. 4-part harmony is very nice. But there's just singing. Yeah. It's getting together a whole bunch of people and just having a good sing.
And I think some of the decline of this as well is that there's no pianos in pubs anymore, and there's not as many people who can play.
When I was in school, in junior school, almost all the teachers could play piano.
Yes.
There wasn't anyone in the school who couldn't play piano.
Even actors.
Yes.
Like, you go back to the 40s and 50s, say all the, like, Dick Van Dykes and all those sort of people.
They can do everything.
They're like triple threats.
Yes.
They can dance, they can act, they can play, they can sing, they can do,
They can do everything.
That's full.
These days, people in schools can't play.
No.
And you know yourself. Let's do not a Christmas play. No, hang on. Not a nativity.
Yes.
Do a Christmas play, which comes on a CD.
Yes.
Comes on 2 CDs.
Oh, God.
It comes on 2 CDs.
One with all of the...
one with everything, including the voices, and one with just the instruments.
Yeah.
And I was so dismayed.
I refuse.
It was awful.
We're not doing this.
But singing's going.
Yeah.
And even when people sing, they sing on their own, sing in the car, along with the whatever they're listening to, which means they're singing wrong.
Yeah.
Because they're listening to it and not them. So it's a shame.
Yeah.
How did we get here? We started off with Stephen Foster and his unmentionables.
Yeah. Well...
Now we're talking about the decline of singing.
Well, it was a conversation that happened.
Yeah, how long has it been going on for?
2 hours exactly.
Oh, God, seriously?
So, we'll wrap up.
It's a shame, though, isn't it?
I think we've wrapped up anyway, to be honest.
I think we wrapped up about 5 or 10 minutes ago.
So, next time...
Yeah.
Well, next week is going to be a normal review episode.
Yeah.
But we're also... we
of
might
course.
use it in that episode. Or we might use it in the next one. But anyway, so some of you might have seen the post that we put out on Twitter. I'm just going to adjust myself. I am now adjusted. Some of you might have seen the post that I've put out on Twitter, which is asking for your opinions, or suggestions, rather, for people who have a fantasy football team. They do that sort of thing. We're going to do a fantasy band, right? This was something that used to be popular years ago. They used to do it all the time in sort of Melody Maker and...
I used to do it all the time in school.
Tim!
Yeah. Concentrate. Oh, yes, Mr. Emerson.
Yeah. Cozy pal. So, we're going to put together our fantasy band, and we want to know what your fantasy band would be as well for us to discuss. So I've sent out a message to some podcast people, and I'm just going to read you out what it says so that we're all on the same page. Okay? So, we're going to do a fantasy band episode of Look Who's Talking, and we want your suggestions. The band will be playing covers, so you're not picking the musicians for the band so that they can play the songs that they're necessarily associated with. So you're not picking Paul McCartney to play bass so you can do Hey Jude. You're picking Paul McCartney because you think he's a great bass player, he plays bass and sings and is good, so therefore I want him. But the fact that he has written songs that everybody knows, that might come into your argument as well. So the lineup is drums, bass, guitar, keyboards, vocals. Okay? You can have 2 of something if you like. So you could have... Try not to go for 2 drummers. It's not Genesis. Or 2 bass players. Oh, well, do what you want.
Adam and the Ants.
Yeah, there you go. So if you want 2 guitar players or 2 singers... That's fine, but yeah, the basic drums, bass, guitar, keyboards, vocals.
I think 1 singer.
1 singer.
Just 1.
Okay.
2 singers, that's cheating.
What if you have a singing bass player or a singing guitar player?
Then you just have a singing bass player.
Right, okay.
So you have 1 less in your band.
Yeah. All right, okay, so... All right, okay. So you could choose...
John Wetton.
Yeah, Paul McCartney, Greg Lake.
Sting.
Oh, what a choice that'd be.
Just have 4 of them.
Yeah, just all of them together.
Yeah.
So so that's what we're going to do. You can email us at mail@wccy.co.uk or go to our Twitter, twitter.com/whocanconvince. I'll try and say it a little bit less of a nuzzle away.
Doctor Who.
So tweet us, send us a message or an email of your suggestions, but we want to know why you're picking them as well. So J.R. Southall from The Strangers in Space has got in touch with his suggestions and has given his reasons why as well. So don't just pick somebody, tell us why.
And this is dead or alive?
Yes.
Okay.
Not the band.
Not the
musicians may be dead or alive.
Yes. Okay.
All
right.
So there you go. So
Okay.
we'll give you our suggestions first next time,
Right.
and then we'll read out yours, and then we'll get on with the review. Or we might do it the week after. We'll see what happens anyway. But
okay.
there you go.
That could open a whole new can of worms, couldn't it?
Yeah, I can hear the can coming out of the cupboard now.
Yeah, so can I. Yeah.
So
right.
yeah.
Okay.
And there we go.
Well, then that was very enjoyable.
That was great.
It might have been a bit rambly.
It might have been a bit rambly, but
It's a conversation.
yeah, it is what it is.
Right.
One last thing to do, as I point to camera,
Hello.
is to choose which story we're doing next time. Sorry, I can't breathe. So for the next review...
I should have been looking at that camera, shouldn't I? I was just looking over there. People just got the side of my head.
That's all right, don't worry.
Yeah,
So we need to choose a story for next time. Okay.
Are you choosing or am I choosing?
You can choose if you wish.
Is this...
Yes.
Well, I was amazed. We are talking about Doctor Who here. Aren't
We are, yes.
I was amazed to find out that it was historical.
Yes.
There were no monsters, no aliens. It was all historically based. And there's one called The Romans, which I thought, the Romans? I didn't know any of this.
Yeah. Would you like to do a historical?
If you have any other choices, feel free. You know more than I do, but I see Doctor Who, I see monsters and aliens and space travel. I didn't think Romans.
Yeah, well, there are a few.
The ones I've seen that may be historically based, they go back somewhere to sort of medieval times, and everything's nice.
They use a character,
and then they end up with robots from the 15th century.
Yes,
but this was just Romans.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do the Romans.
Have I just said Romans and beaten you into submission?
No, it's all right. I'm just going to double check that it's not missing.
Romans?
Or not partially missing.
The Romans?
Yeah. The Romans. That's not Romans. That's Romana.
It's not Life of Brian. I think there's a bit in Life of Brian that says that. It's going to make particularly boring listening, isn't it?
Can't wait, can you? Is it missing? Is there any missing episodes? I don't think so. I think we're all existing for this one.
The thing is, will everybody have this? Are we going to talk about something that only a few people have?
Oh, don't worry about them.
Okay. All right.
So we'll do the Romans next week. And we're going to try it in a little bit of a different way to that we normally record our reviews. We're going to watch it live.
Ooh, right.
So we don't need to do any research. As in, we don't have to watch it before.
Watch it before. No,
we're going to